if let's say the MCO goes in till your exam up to December, yeah, then you all might have a different pattern. Yeah, different pattern means, yeah, maybe you will be given two assignments to do. You might be given two assignments to do, and that is as part of your final exam for your another 50%, and maybe you have to answer three short questions and two assignments if in case the MCO goes on. Yeah, otherwise we'll stick to the normal. But whatever it is, yeah, your class test, week 10, total contribution towards your final is 50%. So that's the reason I wanted
But
to.
sir, may I know when's that we can know the answer?
What answer? That I think that you see, I'm just giving all some hints only here, but it is for the management to decide on that. I'm not sure also, because I spoke to.
When I ask the Imperial College, they always say the same also, have to wait for the management, but until now also don't know whether we got exam or test or not.
But whatever it is, I think you all have your midterm, your class test, if I'm not mistaken. You all have your class test, But but on the final thing, only the management can decide. I think only Dr. Catherine can decide here, but I'm not sure also. We have not been informed yet. If they would have informed me, definitely I will inform the students here, but I've not been informed yet. So I myself, uh, even Fawaz, is it Fawaz is your coordinator, right? Betul kan? Hello?
Yes, yes.
But he himself not sure yet, So then it's improper for me to tell you all for sure, am I right? So we'll just wait and see. But just do whatever I'm asking all to do, you all achieve. Okay? But the thing is that, yeah, what I'm going to do, yeah, coming Monday, are you all free on Monday? Hello?
Yes, yes, for me.
What time?
Okay. Monday, you know why? This is got nothing to do with Imperia. Yeah, this got nothing to do with Imperia. I just wanted to do a class for you all, maybe a 2 hours class. This got nothing to do with Imperia because you know why? The allocation is only 2 hours, am I right? So I think it's quite difficult for me. Yeah, so that's why I going to do voluntarily for you all, for just for the students' sake. I'm going to do one class maybe on Monday or Tuesday. So, okay, do you all have classes on Monday and Tuesdays?
No class on Monday.
The whole day you all are free.
Yes. For
Okay.
real estate
Then,
one, I'm not sure if quantity
huh?
surveyor students.
Oh, you're not
Because
sure,
for real
yeah?
estate students, yeah, we are free
Okay.
at Monday. We didn't have class.
Okay. Okay. Now, okay, all in is 11 students, right? Total is 11 students or 14? I think, hello?
14, I think. 13 or
14.
14.
Okay. Now, I think 9 in the class, yeah? Another, we have to wait and see. But all of you all are real estate students, is it?
No, there's two QS students.
Now. Who's quiz student? Can anyone of you all please?
Me, Chu Timson, and Yong Won Bin.
Okay. Do you all have any class on Monday?
Monday don't have, but Tuesday we have class.
Huh? Oh, Tuesday you all have, Monday you all don't have, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
On Monday, yeah, can we have a class between 2 and 4? Between 2 and 4? We'll start at 2 o'clock and we finish at 4 o'clock. Or you'll prefer to be it 11 to 1?
2 to 4, I think is better. But I'm not sure others.
What about others? No? Hello? Or shall we stick to
So I
the
think
normal time?
we can post it at the WhatsApp there, then ask who rather choose which time. then decide
Okay,
at there.
between, okay, see the majority, yeah, between 11 and 1 or between 2 and 4, yeah?
Yes.
Maybe some of them might be working, I'm not sure, am I right? Am I right? So, okay, anyway, that we, maybe you put it in the group, yeah? You just give them two alternative between 11 and 1 and 2 to 4, yeah? So, whichever we have the majority, then we'll have it on that particular time on Monday. Okay, this I'm doing it
Okay.
voluntarily for your, I'm just doing it voluntarily for your, just for the benefit of the student, yeah? Okay, right? Any question? Any question, please?
Teacher,
Ah,
about the just last week lesson,
ah,
you did mention about before OHA 1944 only have what Factories and Machinery Act.
Factories and Machinery Act 1967.
Yeah, and then what's the Factory Act and Machinery Act touch on?
Okay, I will go through, don't worry, I will go through today.
Okay, okay.
I just highlighted only last week. I will go through on that shortly. Yeah, I'll go through that one shortly. You see, yeah, listen carefully. Yeah, even though your Missionaries and Factories Act 1967 and the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 is very, very, very wide, very, very wide. Yeah, but what I'm going to touch here, I'm only going to cover on areas where I have set questions for you. Or you want me to go through the whole thing?
No need.
Question only.
So I will cover which is very important for you. I will only cover the one which is important for you. Okay? So what I will do here, since we are going to run through the act here, so I think I will follow the slides here. I think you all have one slide with you all, am I right? Yes or no? Hello?
We have.
You have, yeah? Okay, I'm going to go through another slide with you all, yeah? Different from what you're having, but the one which you're having is very important to all run through. Okay, whatever I'm going to go through now, yeah? Please take it down. Please take it down. Which is very, very important. I'll try to go very slow, but please take down whatever I'm saying. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. I will try to slow down. This is very, very important, yeah? So what I will do here, I will go through your slides here. Just 1 second, yeah? And also I'll explain you all the difference between what is the Factories Act and why did we had the Occupational Safety and Health Act also here. And you remember, I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I gave you all some tutorial questions to answer, right? Hello?
Yes.
Hello,
Yes.
have you all done?
I haven't done.
Hey, you know why? Hello, listen carefully, yeah. Whatever tutorial question I'm giving all, yeah, there must be a reason why I'm giving all, There's a reason why I'm giving all, yeah. So try to do it and try to post it to me. Okay? Come on, try to post it to me, yeah.
Okay.
That is very, very important. That's the reason why I'm saying you need to go through the tutorial questions. Try to send it to me. Yeah.
Sir, after done the tutorial, but cannot submit it.
What's that?
It cannot submit in the Moodle.
Cannot, yeah.
Yeah, there's no button for submit.
Okay, then what you all do, yeah? Can you all email me? Boleh?
Yeah.
Can.
Okay. You send the email in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, I'll put it my email in the WhatsApp, yeah, and then you all could send it to me. Okay, but Let me try to go to your slides here. Hold on 1 second, please. Yeah, sorry. Don't open the slide. Okay, now going back to your Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, yeah. Before coming in of the Occupational Safety and Health Act, before coming in of the Occupational Safety and Health Act, before coming in of that particular act, yeah, we have the Factories and Machineries Act 1967. We have the Factories and Machinery Act 1967. 19 Factories and Machineries Act 1967. Yeah. Okay. Now, why do we had this new act, the 1994 Act? So that means, yeah, there must be some shortfalls or there must be some defects in the old act, that is the Factories and Machinery Act 1967. So that means there must be some disadvantages of that particular act. And moreover, it's quite an old act, 1967. Yeah, 1967 in Malaysia, when that act was drafted. Yeah, when that particular act was drafted in 1967. Yeah, Malaysia was still an agricultural country. You know, still an agriculture country. Yeah, only we became an industrial country, more into factories and all the things into high tech in the 1980s and 1990s. Am I right? So when this act was drafted, yeah, it did not highlight all areas of industry. They were more focusing. They were only focusing more on factories. They were only focusing only on factories, not even much on the construction industry. They were not even focusing much on the construction industry, but they were more focusing on factories and the machineries which are used in the factories, and the machineries which are used in the factories. To be very frank, yeah, nothing has been mentioned about safety in construction industry in that Factories and Machinery Act. So that means, yeah, and also it doesn't even cover, yeah, on the, like cranes and all these things. We use all the sophisticated equipment, am I right? That nothing has been mentioned. So that means, yeah, they were only focusing only on the use of the machinery in the factories, and they never touch any other areas of the industry. So they felt that this particular act is insufficient. So that means, yeah, they felt this particular act is incomplete, incomplete. So that means, yeah, it doesn't cover on every areas. Are you following? Hello, are you all following? Can you all follow?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means, yeah, there were a lot of defects in this particular act, and also moreover, it's a 1967. That time Malaysia was not an industrialist country. Yeah, so they were focusing only on factories, not even high machinery factories. Light industry factories only they were focusing on. So they felt these are the defects in that particular act. They felt this act could not cover on all areas. They felt it in 1993 itself. They felt it, From 1993, they were drafting this particular act, the Occupational Safety and Health Act. They were preparing the Occupational Safety Health Act 1994, your Occupational Safety and Health Act and Health. So that means that this particular act, the OSHA, yeah, not only cover on the safety environment and also the health or the hazards it can cause for the people who are working in that particular industry. So health is taken into consideration, whereas in the Factories Act, health was never taken into consideration. They were only focusing on how to use the machinery in the proper way or proper manner, but nothing on even on health. So they felt that you need to cover safety plus also the health aspect of the employer and employee and whoever who are working in that particular environment. So to cover all these things, this Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 was enacted. So that means the king has given a royal assent. So that means the king has given and passed this act in 1994. Okay, now so going back here, so the key thing you need to know is the purpose of this Occupational Safety and Health Act. The purpose, very, very important here. What is the purpose of that act? The purpose of this act here to secure, the purpose of this act is to secure the safety, health and welfare of persons at work. So that means the purpose of this act is to secure the safety, health and welfare of persons at work for protecting others against risk to safety and health also. So that means the purpose, okay, so now you all know what's the purpose of this act. To secure the safety, health and welfare of the persons at work. When you say the word persons at work here, not only covering the employee and also the employer and whoever visitors are coming into that particular environment and whoever coming into that environment. Are you following? So that means this act came into implementation, to be precise on the 25th of February 1994. So that means this act came into enforcement or implementation effective from 25th February 1994. So that means this act came into governing, so from the 25th February 1994. Okay, now very important thing here, this act doesn't only cover the private sector, but it also cover the government sector also. So that means it covers public plus the private sector. When you're talking about public, of course, the government, plus the private sector. So that means
Sir, sorry, disturb for a minute. Wai Sun is waiting. Can you accept him into this meeting?
who's that?
Wai Sun, I think at the waiting list there. Can you accept him to come in?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. Ada ke dia? Wait, let me check. Hold on. Okay, done. Your Wai Sun, is it?
Yes.
Okay, now we have 14, total 14. That's complete, is it? Is it including me, this 14?
T. Hao Jun also want to
Yeah.
enter, right?
Not already enter.
Okay.
Now, yeah.
Okay, now have everyone entered now? Anyone still missing?
I guess everyone entered it.
Everyone entered, yeah? I could see here 14. When I say 14, that's including me, right? Huh? Betul. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Maybe you all might know. Okay. Cassandra, Chang, Shen, Jia.
Sir, there should be one more is Joshua.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Joshua is missing. Yes, correct.
Yes.
Correct. Joshua is missing. Supposed to be 14 students, excluding me. I can see now 14.
Yes.
That is including me. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. So Joshua is missing. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure he must be aware of the class, right? Okay, never mind. We'll get back to him later. Yeah. Okay. So now going back. Yeah. So this act came into enforcement on 25th February. This particular act applies to both private and public sector. So that means when you say about the government sector, what do you mean by public? Public means of course in the government office, if any injury or anything take place, or even factories owned by the government. private, it applies to both, not only for private, but it also applies to the public and private. Yeah, that is very, very important. Yeah, you need to know on that. Yeah. Okay. Now, so now we look into, now we look into the objective of this act. Please know this and keep it the objective. The objective of this particular act. The objective means, the purpose why this act was implemented. To secure safety and health of the welfare. I told you all right. Am I right? True, isn't that? I told you just now, right? Hello?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that is very clear with you all, yeah? Okay, 1. 2, to protect person at workplace other than person at work. To protect, okay, first one is to protect the employer, employee, the health and welfare at workplace, am I right? Those who are going there every day. Secondly, it also protects person at workplace other than person at work. Other than person at work. Okay, when you say other than person at work, who? The visitors. Okay, the visitors. It also protects them. Okay, let's say a delivery man is going into that premises or construction site to deliver some goods. If any injury or anything happens to him, this act is also protecting that third party also. Okay, you get it? And the third one, to promote an occupational environment for person at work which is adapted to their psychological and physical needs. So that means, the third aspect should be the working environment should be conducive, should be a conducive and safe working environment. So the environment must be a safe and conducive working environment. So that means, the employee should not be stressed when they're going into that workplace, So that means, that place should be free from stress. So that means, the environment must be very, very safe and conducive for the employees to work. Okay, so when we say, okay, you get what I mean, So that means, we are not talking about only the manufacturing. This particular act, doesn't only covering the manufacturing, it also covers the mining, construction, forestry, fisheries. You get what I mean? You see, the Factories Act was only focusing on factories, right? But this act covers manufacturing. You know what's manufacturing, right? Manufacturing means factories and all the things, heavy and light industrial. So mining, tin mining. What else? What kind of mining are we having in Malaysia other than tin mining? Hello? What other minings we have in Malaysia other than tin mining? Ada ke? Hello?
Don't know.
What are the things we mine in Malaysia? Do we have a gold mine in Malaysia?
Bitcoin mine.
Ada ke tak ada gold mine in Malaysia? Do you all know that we have a gold mine in Pahang? Ada. It covers all kinds of mining, whatever mining, this particular act covers on that. Construction, forestry means perhutanan. Fisheries, transportation, it covers on transportation, retail, storages, warehouses, hotels, restaurants, real estate, and also it covers business services, including finance, insurance. Like when you say finance, bank. Let's say you're going to the bank, and let's say the floor is wet. They never put a signboard to say that a wet floor. You slip and fell and you injured and you are fractured. Can you sue? Boleh atau tak boleh?
Can.
Hello? Can, of course you can, because they did not provide a safe environment for you to go in, am I right? If let's say you're inside that building, the ceiling collapse and fall on you, again covered. Dapat? So that means this particular act covers on all place of work, because employees working in the bank, employees are working in the factories, employees working in the insurance company, everywhere, anywhere there is a work going on, this act comes in to protect. This act comes in to protect. So that means the 1994 Act, the difference between the 1994 Act and the Factories Act, the Factories and Machinery Act is, this act is complete, covering all environment, all, it covers on all employees wherever you're working, including ship, SHIP. Okay, it covers wherever a person is working, this particular act comes in to protect. Are you following or not? Are you following? Hello, do you have any question to ask me? Do you have any questions so far?
No. So far, no.
Okay, so far no, yeah. Okay, now, yeah. So that means you know what is the purpose of this particular act, yeah. Okay, now very important, yeah. This is very important. Please take down. You won't regret taking it down, yeah. Okay, now we look into what are the duties. What are the duties of the employer? What are the duties of the employer under the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. So that means, yeah, section 15, section 15, 1-5, section 15, subsection 1, section 15, subsection 1 is a very important section. Yeah, this very important section. You need to know whether you like it or not. Yeah, section 15, subsection 1 is a very important section. Yeah, under this section, under this particular act, yeah, that means OSHA, yeah, section 15, subsection 1 of the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, this section has laid down what are the duties of the employer towards the employee. So what are the duties of the employer? Of course, under this particular act, there are certain duties or obligation, certain duties or obligation, which is the employer must fulfill. The employer must fulfill under this particular act. Yeah? Okay, we'll go through one by one. Very important. Yeah, the first one under this particular act. Yeah? So that means, yeah, we are going to go through now. What are the duties of the employer under this particular act? So that means, what are the obligations the employer need to fulfill, or what are the requirements the employer need to fulfill under section 15, subsection 1 of the Occupational Safety and Health Act. We'll go through one by one. Yeah, the first one, to ensure so far as practical, the safety, health and welfare at work of all his employees.
Repeat again.
To ensure so far as practical the safety, health and welfare at work of all his employees. Dapat? And also the employers. And also the employers, the duties of also the employers. To extend the duty of the employers includes provision and maintenance of plant system of work is safe without risk to health.
Can you repeat once again?
Okay, I think, yeah, don't get yourself confused, yeah. Okay, don't get yourself confused, yeah. What we'll do, yeah, duties of the employer. Okay, duties of the employer. What are the duties of the employer under section 15, subsection 1? Duty of the employer. Okay, see, when you say duty of employer, yeah, do you think employee means only one person? Do you think duty of the employer means, do you think only one person? Hello? Can anyone help me?
No.
Is it employee means only one person? Okay, now going back to the shareholders of a company, shareholders of the company. Are they your employers?
Yeah, I think so.
Shareholders of the company, are they your employers?
I think so.
Okay, now, okay, just a bit out of track now I'm going here. Okay, do you all know that what is a separate legal entity? Have you all heard of the word separate legal entity?
No.
No.
Tak ada, tak pernah dengar tak? Okay, now you see, going back to the Company Act, I'm just sidetracking a while, yeah. Okay, going into the Company Act of Malaysia 2016, yeah. Company Act of Malaysia. Okay, now in Malaysia, what are the main types of business you can see? What are the main type of business? Sole proprietor, am I right? Second is partnership. Third is company. Am I right? We have sole proprietor, partnership, and company. Company can be private company, that is Sdn Bhd, and public company, that is Berhad. Am I right? Betul kan? Hello?
Yes, yes.
These are the main types of business organization in Malaysia. Okay, what is your understanding of sole proprietor? What do you mean by sole proprietor? Have you heard of the word sole proprietor?
Only one owner of the company.
Okay, it's not a company, yes? Okay, sole proprietor, that means one owner, am I right? Only one owner, am I right? Sole proprietor means, okay, now, okay, you see, I just give you all some briefing on this, yeah? Okay, let's say the class rep is a sole proprietor, one owner. Let's say she has borrowed 50,000 from public bank to do her business. Her business collapsed. Now her sole proprietor account got only 100 ringgit. Okay, but she has borrowed 50,000 from public bank to do her sole proprietor business, and now she has only 100 ringgit because her business collapsed. Now, public bank wanted to recover back their 50,000, but her sole proprietor account got only 50 ringgit. So how is she going to? How is the public bank going to recover the money? How? Anyone has any clue?
To get his asset from his own, like property, all that.
Okay, so here sole proprietor has unlimited liability. Sole proprietor has unlimited liability. So that means, yeah, the public bank will go into the sole proprietor account to get back the money. If no money, then they go into the personal account of the sole proprietor to recover the money. Am I right? If no money in the personal account, they will go after the properties. Am I right? Dispose of the properties or auction out the properties and get back whatever money due to them. Am I right? True, isn't that? Okay, this they will do it. So that's why your sole proprietor always has unlimited liability. Sole proprietor always has unlimited liabilities. You know what's unlimited liabilities, right? So that means, yeah, they can go into your personal to get back the money or into your personal property and all the things, yeah. Whereas in a partnership, what about in a partnership? Let's say three of you all are partners. And you all have borrowed 50,000 from public bank, and now your partnership business has collapsed, and now only 50 ringgit in the partnership account. So how is the public bank going to recover? They will go into the personal account of each and every partner to recover back their money. If no money in their personal account of each and every partner, then they'll go after the personal properties of the partners to recover the money. Am I right? True, isn't there? Okay, that will happen in a partnership. Partnership also have unlimited liability. Whereas when a company is incorporated, under Section 14 of the Company Act 2016, what will happen is, yeah, a company become separate from the shareholders. The shareholders are different and the company is different. So the money is given in the name of the company and not in the name of the shareholders. So here the creditors can only go and recover whatever left in the company's account and cannot touch the personal assets or the personal account of the shareholders, whether is it a private company or a public company, unless and until a fraud has taken place. This law was established in one landmark case called Solomon and Solomon in 1897. In 1897, until today in Malaysia, we are following the law laid down in this case. So here, going back to where I'm going back now, you're going back to company, yeah? Company, you cannot sue the shareholders. You cannot sue the shareholders. You could only sue the company because the company has been formed. A company becomes an artificial human being. So that means, let's say somebody never give money to the company. So the company has an entity can bring a legal action against the third party to recover back the money. Or the creditors could sue the company. A company becomes an artificial human being. So that means the creditors can sue the company to get back whatever due. Same like directors, they're going back on directors. Directors do not owe a duty of care towards the company. If they owe a duty towards the company, then indirectly they're owing a duty towards each and every shareholders. So going back here in your thing, now we'll go back to your question, yeah. Now I will go slow here. This you need to know, yeah. Duties of the employer. First we do the duties of the employer, and then we go to the duties of the employee. Yeah. Duties of the employer comes under section 15. Under section 15, I told you all right. To ensure as far as practical safety, health, and welfare of work at work for all his employers. So that means, first he must provide a safe and conducive working environment for the employers. The employers can be more than one, am I right? True, isn't that? Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. 2, extend the duty of employees, which include provision and maintenance of plant, maintaining the plant, and also avoid from creating risk to the health of the employees. So that means, we have not gone into employee yet. So that means the employer's duty is also to provide a safe and conducive working environment, not also for the employers. So that means the employers must be also be working in a safe and conducive working environment, and also not exposed to any health risk. Sometimes if it's a chemical company, and then of course they have to have all the proper system for safety system, right? The piping system and all things. If there's a leakage, then if it's it will be a health hazard, am I right? That you have to look into, yeah. Okay. So that means, and at the same time, the employer also, very, very important, the employer must also provide, they must have a system where it is safe of handling storage, transportation, and all the things. They must also provide a safe and proper system of operation, and also handling of the plant and whatever substances therein. One. The other one is they must also have a proper instruction, information, and training system. So that means, they must have a proper information, instruction, and training system, and also supervisory system to ensure that the employees are safe. So that means this is all the duties, these are all the duties of the employee under the Act, under section 15, subsection 1, So that means, they must have a proper system, right? If there's no proper system, if they never create a proper system, to follow instruction for training purposes, for supervision purposes and all the things, then of course it will have an impact on the employee, right? So that means, already an obligation under the Act, under section 15, subsection 1, they've already, it's the duty of the employer to have a proper system. Are you all following? Hello? Hello, can you hear
May I
me?
know total got how many obligation of
Ada,
session fitting subscription.
okay, ada banyak, but I'm going to go through only the important ones.
Yeah.
Ah,
So you
ah.
total saying how many already? Just now 3 or 4.
Three already, three or four.
Okay.
Tiga kan ada, four. How many I've said? Confirm 3, yeah? Okay, now, other than this, okay, now I did mention about maintenance also, isn't it? And also access to all these things. There must be a proper access to all these things, because no point of having a proper system and all the things if there is no proper access to get into this system. And that is also an obligation of the employer under section 15 subsection 1. So this all is here. This all you need to know very briefly only. If you run through the act, it's all in there. You put it in your own words. Okay. Another thing very very important. The environment is very very important. So safety environment should be provided. When I say safety environment, what do you mean by safety environment? If it's a factory, the floor should not be slippery. Am I right? The floor should not be slippery. Am I right? What else? If let's say the floor is oily, then people could slip and fall and injure themselves. Am I right? So that means here the environment must be very, very conducive, and that must be maintained at all times. So that means here the employer must provide all the safety equipments to the employee. Must provide all the safety equipments to the employee to make sure that they are safe while inside that particular premises. So that means adequate health and maintenance must be provided by the employer under this particular act. So that means safety helmet, safety boots. Are you following? This all must be also provided. Okay. Hello. Okay. Now, if visitors were to come in, what are the things they have to have for the visitors? If let's say the visitors is coming into that environment, they are not an employee but visitor. What are the obligation of the employer towards the visitors? Let's say they're coming into a construction site example. Okay, what should the owner or the controller of that particular site should take into consideration for independent people? Of course,
Well,
when tell me, yeah. Somebody want to say something? Hello? Who's that, yeah? Okay, what I'm trying to say, yeah? Okay, so what are the duties of the employer towards third parties? We put it in easier way, towards third parties. What are the duties of the employer towards third parties? We are not talking about earlier, he must make sure that they have a system right towards third parties. If third parties are coming in, to make sure that they are also given all the safety equipments to get into the premises. Of course, a safety helmet, a safety boots, am I right? True, isn't it? That's also part of the duty of the employer, not only towards the third party and also to independent contractors. Do you know who are independent contractors? Hello?
no.
Hey, remember last week, if I'm not mistaken, last week, did I explain to you all the difference between contract of service and contract for service?
No.
Okay, did I touch very briefly on employment law last week or the week before? Based on the based on the Employment Act of Malaysia 1955 and also the Industrial Relation Act of 1967.
I think don't have. Never heard before.
Okay, you see, in Malaysia, you might need this for your thing, your purpose. That's why I'm bringing this in here. Okay, the Employment Act 1955, yeah. Employment Act 1955 for Malaysia governs between what are the rights of the employer and what are the rights of the employee, and what are the duties and obligation of the employer and employee under the employment contract. Okay, when you're joining a company, you're given an employment contract, am I right? You're given an employment contract, right? So your job description and everything will be based on the employment contract, am I right? Betul kan? Yes or no? Okay, that is you call contract of service. So that means, yeah, if you are a full-time employee of a company, if you are a full-time employee of the company, you are called under contract of service. So that means you are paid a monthly salary, am I right? You are part and parcel of the company. Whereas contract for service, they are not an employee. They are not an employee. Who are these people? Contract service. Let's say your house, your aircon is not working, and you're calling the aircon serviceman to come and service your aircon in your factory or in your house or wherever. And if they're injured, are you responsible? Are you responsible? Let's say your factory, something is not working and you're calling an independent contractor to come and do the work. So he's come on the way to your factory, he's coming down and he met up with an accident. Are you responsible? Are you responsible?
Yes.
Okay, who the one who said yes, yeah?
Yeah, me,
Okay,
Janice.
okay, any others other than Janice, any others? You see, employer only responsible for employees and not for independent contractors, because there is no employer-employee relationship. There's no employer-employee relationship. They're independent contractors. They come and provide the service, you pay them for the service, off they go. You're not responsible if anything happens to them. But if they're coming to your premises and if you did not provide them a safe and conducive working environment, let's say a slippery floor, slip and fall or injured, then you are responsible. Otherwise, you are not responsible. Are you following? So here, when you're talking about third parties, sometimes independent contractors come to your premises to do work. So you must provide them the safety things to carry out the duty. If you never provide them and if they're injured, then in that situation, you are also liable. You are also liable. Other than that, yeah, other duties of the social covers more on safety, health, and a very conducive working environment the employer must provide. Am I right? That all comes under section 15, subsection 1. Now, section 16, what are the duties of the employer? Yeah? What are the duties? The employer must have a OSHA policy. The employer must have a occupational safety and health policy. Okay, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this policy? What do you mean by this health? Okay. Here, the employer must, if it's a factory, it's compulsory under the law, the employer must have a safety manager, in-house safety manager is compulsory. So the safety manager is the one who lays all the policies as far as safety, health is concerned. So that means, yeah, the purpose of this safety officer is if, let's say, an injury or anything has taken place, then it's the duty of the safety officer or the safety manager to inform the authorities. So that means, yeah, the safety officer is the person who must ensure that the company complies to all the rules and regulations set under the Occupational Safety and Health Act. So that means, yeah, whatever rules and regulation which is set under that particular act, that act must be implemented to each company. It is the duty of the health, the safety officer or the safety manager of that company to ensure that the company applies or follows whatever rules and regulation which is set by OSHA. So duty of the company security or safety officer. So that means each and every company or industry or manufacturing must have a safety officer or safety manager. So the duty of the safety officer or the safety manager is to formulate the policies which are laid down under the Occupational Safety and Health Act. So it's the duty of the safety officer or the safety manager to make sure that the company complies and follows whatever rules, procedures or regulation set under that particular act. So that means the duty to formulate the OSHA policy all comes under that particular section 17. It all comes under section 17. Dapat? Hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Are you all-
dapat.
are you all
Wait,
lost
sir,
or-
it's under section 17. Right? How about section 16?
Section 16 not very important. Section 16 not important. So we can skip. That's why I'm going through some of the important sections,
So that employee must have the OSHA policy that is section 17, is it?
It over actually, you cannot say just 17 alone. It overlaps with section 16 also. It overlaps. So you see at this particular section, so many sections are there. Sometimes certain section it overlaps. It doesn't just touch only on certain thing, but it also overlaps. Yeah. So you can use section 16 and 17 more on policies. Okay. So you cannot just say only section 17, but it actually touches slightly on section 16 also. But the main one is section 17. Okay. Hello? Are you following? Okay, now we go to section 18 here. I don't know section, but I'm only going to cover the important one here. Section 18. Okay, section 18 touches on the use of the premises. Section 18 touches on the using of the premises. Using of the premises. So that means section 18 is telling that the premises must be safe. Overall, the premises must be safe without any risk or hazards. Are you following? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, not only that, going back on that section 18 here, premises, risk and all things like that. But then again, section 15 to section 18 here, bear this in mind, that's why I just mentioned earlier, it overlaps, I told you right. Section 15 to section 18 of OSHA also touches on the offenses. Also on the offenses. What are the offenses or penalty? Okay, so that means if they never comply to any one of those, whatever we are talking about here, if they never comply, then a fine can be imposed, maximum not exceeding 50,000 ringgit, not exceeding 15,000 ringgit, or imprisonment 2 years, not exceeding 2 years. Can be fine alone, or can be imprisonment alone, or can be both, also. So that means
15,000 is it? 15
no 50.
50.
But you would ask me, 50,000 is a very, very small amount, 50,000 is you see, going back again, there are also some defects on this particular act. Also, this is a 1994 act, almost 26 years old, Am I right? True, isn't it? Are you following? Hello?
Yes, yes.
You see, in 1996, maybe the 50,000 is a big amount. What about now? After 26 years, is the 50,000 still the same? Is it the value still the same? Of course, no, isn't there? So obviously, because they use the word there, you know why? Yeah? They use the word not exceeding, not exceeding 50,000. So that means the maximum is 50,000, can be 10,000, can be 20,000, can be 30,000. But the maximum is 50,000. And imprisonment not exceeding 2 years, maximum 24 months only. Can be 1 day, can be 1 week, can be 1 month, but maximum 2 years. But is it fair? If let's say they never comply and people are injured and they're only being fined for 50,000, is it fair? Whereas they're making millions of ringgit as a profit every year. Are you following? Hello?
Yeah.
Ada part, yeah? Okay. So that's why I did use the word just now, yeah? You remember I used the word, it overlaps, So you see section 15 to section 18, under all their offenses, if they never comply, then the fine could be between maximum up to 50,000 ringgit or impose imprisonment maximum up to 2 years. Depan. Okay, that you touch on that, yeah. I'll give you all some later. I'll give you all some cases, Later I'll give you all some cases here which you can't find in the slides, but I'll give you all some cases later, yeah. Okay, now we'll go into the duties of the employees. What are the duties of the employees? Okay, do you think the employees has any duties? What are the duties of the employees under this particular act? Do you think, okay,
Yes,
as an employee, do you think, they also have certain duties or obligation to fulfill?
yes.
Okay, what do you think? What can you think of? Can anyone of you think of anything?
They need to, like, for example, need to put on those safety equipments, need to follow the rules.
Rules and regulation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here, general duties of the employees, yeah? General duties of the employees, yeah? Okay, so here you touch on section 26. 26, yeah? Okay, so duties not to charge employees for things done or provided. Okay, no employer shall. Okay, general duties of the employees, yeah? Listen carefully, general duties of the employees here. That's what earlier you rightly said, yeah? Okay, firstly, the employer, of course, must provide all the safety equipments, right? If they provided all the safety equipment, it's also the duty of the employee to follow whatever instructions or equipments which are given to them while carrying out the duty. So it is the obligation of the employee to use these equipments to carry out the duty more effectively. Only then they can carry out the duties effectively, right? But one very important thing you need to know here, yeah, before using that whatever equipment, the employees must be trained how to use all these equipments. Am I right? True, isn't that? Betul kan? Yes or no? Yes or no? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Betul. Of course, it's one of the duties, right? That the employees must be trained to use these particular equipments. They must be trained to use these equipments, right? Not only trained to use these equipments, not only trained to use these equipments, but they must also, what else do you think? What else? Okay, if you're going to a company to work, of course, the employer should have trained the employee before he's being put into work, isn't there? Am I right? Betul kan? Yes or no?
Yes.
So what other duties do you think? What are other general duties of the employee towards the company? What do you think? Common sense here. What do you think? Try to think and see. What other duties do you think you can still think of? As an employee, what are your obligations? Other than that, what are the obligations do you think?
To avoid injury.
Okay, okay. To avoid injury, injury. So that means you have to be cautious. So that means you're going back to again, yes, what earlier the student was telling that, of course, they have to use all the safety equipments, am I right? If they never use safety equipments, then they're exposing themselves to problems, am I right? Okay, other than that, what else? Other than that, what else do you think? Hello? Other than that, what else do you think? Misuse the facilities which are given. Is it an obligation of the employee also not to misuse?
Yeah.
Yes,
Should be.
yes.
Of course, isn't it not to misuse, am I right? Whatever things which are given to them. Okay, these are some of what else do you think? You see, if you run through that particular act, everything is there, it's just understanding only because I'm here also, I'm trying to interpret what is in the act, If you go through the OSHA act, everything is laid down there, So you just follow and put it in your own words. What are the duties? What are the duties of the employer and what are the duties of the employee as far as the OSHA is concerned? Okay, now one more thing you need to know here also, Leah. Have you heard of this? Okay, if let's say an employee has been injured, what is the procedure? Do you all know that? If let's say one of the employees is injured, what is the duty of the safety manager? Any idea? Anyone having any idea? Hello?
To check whether it's the employee own problem or the company didn't give up, like tell him that these rules that need to apply.
So normally what they'll do is that they will do an investigation, am I right? It's the duty of the health officer to do a investigation to establish is it the negligence of the employer or the negligence of the employee. So that means end of the day, the safety officer has to be a very, very neutral person. He cannot be in favor of the employer, and he also cannot be in favor of the employee. He must follow whatever rules and regulation which has been stipulated in the Occupation Safety and Health Act. Am I right? So here, it's the duty of the health officer to do a inquiry into to establish the cause of the injury. Is it the negligence of the employer or the negligence of the employee? And also they have to inform the relevant ministry about it also. Okay, now I think the slides here, I've given you slides here. If you run through the slides here, you don't need any explanations. Everything is in there, Duties of the employer and duties of the employee. Okay, but only thing you don't have there is you don't have the cases, you don't have any cases there, that's the only thing, you don't have any cases here, but everything is in there, Okay, now I'll give you all some cases here. This you need to put in when you are answering a question, yeah. Okay, I give you one name of the case here. These all the very, very recent cases here, year 2020, yeah. Chew Yu Gee. Chew, Chew, Yu Gee, Gee. But this is a construction case, yeah. This is a construction case, yeah. What happened in this case, yeah? Okay, here the employer in this situation, this is a Georgetown Penang case, yeah. Okay, here the employer didn't comply to section 15 of OSHA. The employer did not comply to section 15 of OSHA in this particular case, yeah. This to do, when I say Chu Yugi, this is Lost Paradise Resort. It's a resort, you know, a construction site. Okay, so that means here, what happened here? Failure to ensure proper operation handling, failure to ensure proper operation handling and storage of substances in that premises. They failed, they never complied to that. So here under that act, yeah, the owner has been fined 25,000 ringgit, has been fined 25,000 ringgit. 25,000 ringgit. And also, yeah, it is the duty, and it's also the duty of the employer to notify DOSH, Department of Occupational Safety and Health Office, you know. If they never notify, again, there'll be a fine also imposed. So that means each and every accident which has taken place, it must be reported to the Department of Occupational Safety and Health. If they fail to, it is also an offense. Are you following? Are you following? Hello?
Yes, yes.
So here, so that means, yeah, you see, the maximum they said is 50,000 rand, but in this particular case, they only find 5,000 ringgit. They only find 25,000 ringgit, you know. They only find 25,000 ringgit. You see, most of the construction, yeah, situations, yeah. Okay, another case, yeah. Rimbaco Sdn Bhd. Rimbaco, RIMBACO, Sdn Bhd. This to do with the construction. This is a construction company, yeah. This is a construction company. Again, in this particular, they never follow the standard operating procedure. The company did not follow the standard operating procedure when they are carrying out the duty in the construction site. They never. Again, it is an offense under section 15, subsection 1. Okay, it's also an offense. Here too, they are only fined maximum 25,000 ringgit. You see, they never even put 50,000, you know, they only find 25,000 ringgit because that particular company did not comply. You see, now the question here, you know why I'm bringing up all the 2020 cases, you know why? Because you see, they're only imposing 25,000 ringgit. As far as this construction site is concerned, that 25,000 ringgit is a very, very small money for them, you know. So they don't mind paying that, because if they were to strictly follow whatever rules and regulation which is set under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, yeah, it will cost them more money, you know. It will cost them more money to operate that. So they don't mind paying 25,000 and breaking the rules and regulation. So the solution here should be, what would be the solution here? Increase the fine, am I right? If they were to make the fine 200,000, do you think they will break the procedures, the SOP? Of course, no, isn't it? Because they know the penalty is very, very heavy. Am I right? True, isn't it? Hello?
Yes.
So here, so end of the day, you have to see here, the enforcement is also at fault. Even though we have the act and everything, when they're enforcing, you see, they only fine very less. So they don't mind paying the fine, you know. I'm sure in the recent times you all have, we had undergone a lot of a problem with the water cut and all the things, right? Because the rivers has been contaminated and all the things. But you see, again and again, they are offending the same thing again and again, right? Because they don't mind paying the fine, because the fine is very, very minimal. Am I right? Okay, another case I give you, yeah. Hong Cheng Seafood Supply Sdn Bhd. Hong Cheng, Hong H-O-N-G, Cheng Seafood Supply Sdn Bhd. Okay, this is in, if I'm not mistaken, this case is a typing here, is a typing here, correct. Again here, under section 15, subsection 1 also, this company has been, didn't comply to section 15, subsection 1 of the OSHA. So that means they never follow the procedures here under that section 15. Only impose fine 15,000 ringgit, only 15,000 ringgit. Okay, now, do you think, is it effective or not? What do you think? Hello? Of course, it's not effective, am I right? Finding them so low, of course, they will be repeating and repeating. These big companies, for them paying 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 is nothing, because they're saving more money by not following the procedures. So here what I'm trying to suggest is here, the amount which is imposed is very, very minimal here. So it should be increased, Another case, I'm referring all these cases here, year 2020, not old ones, the recent ones, yeah. Okay, another one, yeah. MSBB Engineering Sdn Bhd. MSBB Engineering Sdn Bhd, yeah. This particular also has been charged under section 15 also. Never follow, did not provide safety equipment for the employees. Only again 15,000. Again only impose 50,000. 15,000. I see. Is it justified or not? Is it justified? First thing here, again another case here, under section 15 also. It is all under, okay. The name of the company, Nula Tax Sdn Bhd.